All right, coming up next, guys, I have a special guest star, Jose. And Jose is a subscriber and just a big patron here at Osme. We see each other here all the time, although he moved away and he's back now. First time we've seen each other in a couple months. Yep. And we're gonna do his top 5 favorite fragrances right now. We've talked about this a lot. We're always kind of bantering things around here, and he's got a really cool list, and we're gonna find out what it is coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to JoelTheNose, and thank you guys for watching. You can see I'm here in lovely Osme Perfumery. As I said in the introduction, with Jose.
Hello.
Jose.
Hey.
Good to see you, buddy.
Great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have him. You know, we've hung out like, I don't know, probably for what, 6 months or so now? You know, when we first met here with Maurice at Osme Perfumery, and we always talked about fragrances, and our passion, like all you guys. And anyways, we want to do a video today because Jose and I were talking. He just came back from Belgium.
Belgium, yeah.
Right?
Liège.
Liège, Belgium for 30 days. And before that, he actually moved away. He had been living in Miami area. Well, kind of partially living, right?
Pretty much living in Miami.
Pretty much living for work. He's a pilot. And he moved back full-time to North Carolina. It's not as here as much. So, we wanted to we randomly ran into each other today. So it was a kind of, happy accident, and I'm like, let's do a video, because he always has great things to say, and I love hearing his opinions. So having said all that, let's get right into this. He's going to do his top 5 fragrances that he is wearing right now.
Right
now.
Yep,
you got it.
Cool. So we'll start with Amouage Meander, and I guess I'll let you do the.
I'll take it up and hold it, and you can start. Hold on, don't say anything yet until I get the microphone back.
Okay.
But here you guys go. That's Meander from Amouage. Okay.
Beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation, but what I love it for is it's calming. It has kind of like a zen-like quality for me. I smell this on a daily basis, although I haven't been smelling it for the past 30 days because I've been in Belgium. But this is something that just calms me down. It's like an anti-anxiety thing. I pretty much put a spray of this on every day.
Oh wow!
Like when I'm at home, just because it just it grounds me, and I don't know if it's like, I know it has a carrot note in there, carrot seed note.
This kind of reminds me, it's almost kind of creamy to me, right? Yeah. It's like, it's almost like, that carrot note's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit creamy almost. Yeah. It's definitely almost feels like like you said, like a relaxing, calming bath or something.
Yes, so that's why I wear that one.
Okay. Next one? Yeah, let's go to the next one.
All right, so the next one I've been wearing a lot is Decas, Xerjoff.
Let me go hold this one. Hold on 1 second. So I can show that to everybody. Here you go, Decas from Xerjoff. All right.
So this one, when I was actually here to purchase it, I was between this and Naxos. They're both great, but what really got me to purchase this one was that it reminds me of my childhood. It smells, I don't mean this I mean this in a good way, not in a bad way, but it reminds me of juicy fruit and tobacco. And that's what my dad smelled like growing up. He smoked a little bit.
Wow.
And he chewed juicy fruit like constantly. That was what he chewed. I don't know if maybe some of you may or may not know what juicy fruit is.
I know it. Probably some of the younger people don't know it, but it came in like a yellow pack with like 5 sticks, like kind of long sticks of gum. And it's that type of gum. It's really sweet at first, and it lasts for like a short amount of time.
It's really sweet,
but it's really intense at first.
So, and I'm glad I did it because I really wasn't sure, but the more I wear it, the more I like it. And it's something, I'll be honest, it's not something that I wear that people are, I have found even with my 15 plus sprays that people can smell it too much because it's under the radar a little bit for me personally. Yeah. But I wear it for me, and it just brings me so much joy.
I think you mentioned something when we were talking earlier that this is like one of your dumb reaches now, right?
Yes, this has become my dumb reach.
And kind of explain how that happened?
Well, I have since I went back to North Carolina, I found I'm around more people, and like my wife happens to be sensitive to fragrances, so I found this one to not be offensive to anybody, and it still it gives me a great feeling. Yeah. So there you go, guys. I've been reaching for this one a lot, and I don't know, just got to put your nose on it and see if it works for you, but for me, it's just the memories and the simplicity of it. For me, it's just great.
This is the beauty of perfume, because it has that power to transport you with the memory back to your childhood, makes you feel good, reminds you of your dad, and then yet this particular fragrance is one that, as he said, because he's around people a little bit more now than he was before, He is finding something that he knows is not offensive, it's not going to overpower people, and probably, I'm assuming, great for a work fragrance and such.
Absolutely. So Decas.
Cool, cool.
Give it a try.
All right, next.
All right, so Casa Morati, so it's Xerjoff still, and it's Italica.
So let me hold this one up, guys. I've talked about this one of the really badass gourmand fragrances that's come out in the last year.
Yeah. So the big thing I want to share about this is it took me 6 months to actually purchase this one.
Great lesson here, so listen to this.
I tried this on, and it was with Babica right there some time ago, and I sprayed it. I was like, whoa, why would I want to smell like a cookie? That's exactly what I said. That's what I thought. But I gave it a try, put it on my skin to dry down, and it I kept coming back to it, And as I guess I could say matured in my nose, you know, like you always say, our noses are changing. I just realized, my God, it's beautiful, it's perfect. I wear it so much now. In fact, in Belgium, I wore this quite a bit because I have an atomizer, and I brought this one. And it's just so beautiful. It's creamy. It is sweet, but I don't find it to be a sweet that would be...
So it reminds me of almost like an amaretto cookie or something, a little bit. You know, it's got that kind of almond, sweet, milky accord, right? That's where I think the creaminess comes in.
And I just have found this, and I have found that people give me compliments on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, what a beautiful fragrance. But the biggest thing I wanted to share was that it took me at least 6 months to purchase this thing. It was just sitting there on my mind, and when I did it, I'm so glad I actually purchased it.
And it's another great lesson. Just, guys, you've heard me talk about it before, but it's so important that you let your nose grow and you expand your nose. So when you try new things, like when he tried this at first, and I gotta admit, when I tried it at first too, I was a little bit, because gourmands are not necessarily my favorite thing just right off the bat.
Right.
But as my nose has grown, and clearly as yours is, you see that, you know, you start 6 months ago, maybe you don't, you're like, oh, okay, love it, not so much. And then you kind of keep coming back to it, and your nose expands, and your nose matures, and your nose gets more open-minded, right? You know, it's like anything else in life. The more you open yourself up and expand your mind, your nose, you can now find great new fragrances that you like, because this really is a beautiful fragrance.
It really is.
That's a great lesson. I'm glad you talked about that. All right, let's go to the next one.
Next one. All right, Oud for Happiness.
All right, let me show it. So, of course, Oud for Happiness looks like Oud for Greatness, but with kind of a green layering in that gold leaf. And let's hear it.
So the story behind this one is I was here at an event. I think it was a Parfum de Marly event, actually, and I tried a bunch of different fragrances. So I left with all these different fragrances on me, from Parfum de Marly to a bunch of other stuff. This was one of them. And on the drive home, I could smell this kind of just through all the other ones, not in an annoying, loud way, just kind of just piercing through. There's something in this, and I don't know if it's that licorice type, you know, I've heard, or maybe the cannabis, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was something in it that just really drew me into it. And sorry to use the same word as I use with Italica, but it also has a creaminess to it. I don't know if you agree.
I agree. In fact, there's a lot of similar creaminess is through at least a few of these
okay,
here.
so I think that's something that I like.
Yeah,
then.
clearly.
But this one is something that I would have never thought I'd like, but having it just go through all the other fragrances, I came back, tried it again. I said, you know what, this is different. I don't have anything like this at home in my collection.
Yeah.
So I gave it a try, and this is another one that I'm like, yes, I'm so glad I did, because I've worn it at home, and even my wife has said, oh, what's that? And what's funny is, before she smelled it on me, I actually had her smell it from the bottle, and she was like, no, that liquor, she didn't like it. But I found that with a lot of fragrances, I almost don't ask anymore. I just put it on and let it happen organic. Like, if someone says, wow, what is that? It smells good, then I know. Because if you say, hey, what do you think about this spraying like this? I feel like it changes the mind. Like, your mind goes to another place, and if it's foreign.
I think people feel, when you say, hey, what does this smell like? They feel obligated to give like a very strong, either positive or negative.
Right.
And again, as we learned earlier with Italica, maybe your initial response or another person's response, maybe they don't, because it's something unfamiliar and they're not used to it. And people, when they smell things that are unfamiliar, they tend to react negatively. So, you know, I think that's great. Don't necessarily say, hey, what do you think? Just put it on. Don't tell them it's on, and let them come to you, because you're probably going to get a more truer opinion when someone actually smells it organically.
I agree. I mean, after doing this for a while now, I pretty much all but stopped. stop. I mean, I used to go here on one side and then another fragrance on this side, and then what do you think? What do you think? And it's just like,
you know, something that you mentioned, I remember this event. I was here for that Parfums de Marly event. We were talking to Yvonne Jacqueline. I had introduced Jose to Yvonne Jacqueline, the managing director for Parfums de Marly, and they were having a great conversation. And Yvonne gave a great recommendation. He's like basically listening to Jose talk, and he's like, I have the recommendation. And I forget which was it, Leighton or Pegasus?
No, it was Pegasus.
It was Pegasus. So he recommended Pegasus, which Jose did not have, or hadn't really smelled in a while, and you actually got it that night, right?
I got it. It's beautiful.
And then what's interesting now, from that night, this is the one that sticks out after all of that.
Yeah. But they're both beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just that one just kind of penetrated. I don't know what it is, but I think you know what I'm talking about. When you smell it, you'll know. It's totally different, and it's just something that's
it's one of my
hypnotizing.
I've said this recently. Oud for Happiness is one of the fragrances I wear the most at home. When I'm working from home, which is most days, to me that's just, I love that fragrance. Or if I even working away from home and I come home at the end of the day and I want to just chill. That fragrance is
Sounds
perfect.
like that's your Meander.
And guys, sorry about the noise. They're doing construction here, so it is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right, let's go to the last fragrance.
Okay, so this is, I'm going to try to not butcher this. It was Ambre Topkapi.
So yeah, I would say Ambre Topkapi.
Ambre Topkapi.
Let me show you guys.
MDCI.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the Ambre Topkapi from MDCI Parfums.
You may have noticed when he put it up there that it has more ingredients than you'll see in just about any fragrance.
The fragrance list is probably 20.
Probably, yeah.
Probably 20 different fragrance notes and ingredients.
But the way this is blended is, I mean, it's
shocking.
Amazing. It's amazing. And this one, yeah. I would call it, I think when people think of skin scent, they think of soapy. I would kind of say, if I were to just try to give you an idea, it's soapy, it's clean.
It's almost like a barbershop fougere, kind of lavender, but with like skin, which you would not think. It's almost kind of light at the top.
Yes.
Right? With all these deep, dark notes that are in there, you would not think.
It's blended beautifully.
I don't know how they did it.
I left this one for last for a reason. This is like something that I slept on, and I feel like most people are sleeping on this. If you're a fragrance lover, a niche fragrance lover, just give this a try. I put this on one time, and it was the following day I was working out that just Ambre just came out, and I'm like, what is that scent? And I realized, I smelled it, I was like, oh my God, is it that MDCI? What? I couldn't even say the name of it. I went back to it, sure enough. I'm wearing this a lot, and it's not even really in my wheelhouse, but something about it is just so, I gravitate to it. So don't sleep on it, it's beautiful.
One of the more expertly blended fragrances, I promise you, that you'll ever smell, because when you look at the note breakdown and you then see how this comes across as this almost kind of skin, fougere, amber, you're like, how in the world do they do it? And by the way, and I have to give him credit, Jose, all of us kind of slept on this one, because there's a lot of MDCI fragrances here at Osme, and we're smelling them all the time, and this one just kind of sits there under the radar. No one really talks about it, and you kind of picked it up and ran with it one day. I forget why, and you're like, and then you came to me, you're like, hey Joel, have you tried this? And I mean, I had never even remembered trying it, and it was like, wow. I mean, same thing. Once I start putting it on, I'm like, this thing is amazing.
It really is. So yeah, you got to put this on the skin and give it a chance.
Cool.
Oh, it's so good.
Awesome. Well, Jose, thanks for coming on the channel. I always appreciate it. You know, it's a treat when he's here, because we just, he's as passionate about fragrance as anyone you'll ever meet. We always have great conversations. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all your support. And I'll be back soon with another video. Peace, love, and perfumes.